Behind those perfect hedges in Montecito, the pressure's louder than the ocean. The smiles look permanent, but the calendar tells a different story. Deals shift, cameras linger, and the just like us image keeps running into, okay, prove it. So let's step inside the house where the brand is baked, the hype is plated, and the leftovers say more than the main course. Sunshine, lemons, perfect countertops. On camera, it looks effortless. Meghan's series with love, Meghan leans hard into that vibe. Friends dropping in, cooking, gardening. Come over, let's make something pretty. It's a smart play. Human, low stakes, easy to binge. Season 2 is out, trailers and all, which means the lifestyle lane isn't a rumor, it's the plan. Still, the numbers chatter started fast. Trade pieces noted the show didn't break into Netflix's top 10 after the new episodes landed, and that's where the pressure creeps in. When the brand promises warmth, the internet goes straight to scorecards. The irony? The show's whole thesis is playfulness over perfection, while the reaction around it demands the opposite. So yes, the hedges are trimmed and the table is set. But the real storyline is whether the hosting persona can carry a franchise without constant headline oxygen. And if it can't, what gets tweaked first? The format, the guest list, or the pitch? Now the streamer everyone watches, Netflix. Headlines in late July said the original approximately $100 million arrangement wouldn't be renewed when it hit its September 2025 end date. Then August hit, and the plot flipped. Multiple outlets reported a new, leaner, multi-year deal. Same platform, smaller number, fresh slate. Translation, not dumped, just rescoped. The couple keeps a first look setup, a holiday special for With Love, Meghan, and a few pipeline titles, including the long-teased Meet Me at the Lake. It's the Hollywood version of We're Still Together. We just redefined the relationship. There's also the brand play running alongside it. Meghan rebranded American Riviera Orchard to As Ever in February 2025. More flexible name, broader product lane. And that brand now shows up in coverage tied to the renewed Netflix plans. Whether that synergy is genius or just convenient cross-promotion, it's on the board. Meanwhile, she did spin up a new podcast with Lemonada in April, an 8-episode, founder-to-founder chat series, then pressed pause on season 2 to put energy into As Ever. So yes, the audio lane exists. It's just not the headline engine right now. Bottom line, the revenue pillars aren't gone. They're resized, which raises the real question for Montecito. Can a warmer, smaller deal bankroll a bigger narrative? That polished sit-down made a point. Cozy lighting, gentle questions, zero chaos. Supporters called it poised. Critics called it pre-screened. Both can be true. Rumors suggest topics were mapped ahead of time, which, let's be honest, is how most glossy interviews work. The answers felt safe, almost friction-free, and that's the trade. Protect the brand. Risk sounding like a brochure. When every line is tidy, the audience starts listening for what wasn't said. And nothing says spontaneity like, great question, right on cue. There's a bigger pattern here. Keep the frame tight, keep the message warmer than the comment section, and never let a stray curveball reset the story. It's clean. It's consistent. It also invites the same pushback every time. If everything's this curated, what's real? That's the tension. Credibility versus control. Win the moment, maybe lose the mystique. Now, if you made it this far, I love you. Please like this video and also subscribe to this channel as we cover the actual news, not hype. All right, continuing, the calendar doesn't lie. On September 8th, Harry's back in London for the Well Child Awards, the event he's championed since forever, giving a speech and handing out hardware. The next day, he tacks on a Nottingham stop tied to youth initiatives. Helpful timing, sure, but it's also a statement. Less kitchen island, more causes. UK press buzzed about family reunions and palace optics. Official word stays quiet. The through line is simple. Show up for the kids, keep the noise down, let the work speak. Invictus tells a similar story. Vancouver Whistler, 2025, wrapped with a balanced budget and a $5.5 million legacy fund. Not rumor, receipts. That legacy money lives on past the medals, which is the point. The foundations, beyond the game's schedule, rolls through summer into fall, keeping momentum while headlines move on. Say what you want about the man, the program's engine still runs. So yes, purpose is there. But purpose and perception aren't twins. One is impact, the other is camera angle. And that's where the Montecito narrative jams up next. Privacy versus visibility and how curated glimpses keep boomeranging. You can't sell cozy and guard the gates at the same time. Or can you? The playbook so far is curated glimpses. A countertop shot here, a behind the scenes moment there, maybe silhouettes, maybe hands, enough to say we're real, not enough to hand over the keys. Supporters call that healthy, critics call it stagey. Both camps are loud, and that's the trap of modern fame. The tighter the filter, the more people fill the gaps with their own stories. Rumors suggest school run sightings, neighbor chatter, and why don't we ever see X posts? None of it verified, all of it viral. The show leans into warmth without leaning into surprise, which keeps brand safety high but spontaneity low. It's a trade. Guard the kids and the narrative. Risk the buzz turning into, okay, but where's the unplanned moment? That tension doesn't end the conversation, it fuels it. And when the access stays controlled, the internet grabs the next best weapon: numbers. Here's the thing about fame math: the first big spike gets framed as destiny, and every chart after that gets treated like a verdict. Harry's book launched like a rocket. Record setting day one, headlines everywhere. Then the narrative flipped from unstoppable to over it. The second streams, rankings, or top 10 lists didn't scream the same volume. That's how the internet plays it. One data point becomes a personality test. If the show doesn't trend, it's failing. If it trends once, it's peaked. If a clip underperforms, it's proof you see the trap. What actually happens is simpler and less dramatic. Interest surges, then settles. Some formats have long legs, some don't. Lifestyle content thrives on comfort, not shock. It's built for slow burn, not fireworks. But the audience scoreboard doesn't care about genre. It wants a winner every week. That's why the Montecito image ends up on trial after every metric: view counts, placements, even comment tone. The story stops being, is it good, and turns into, is it big? And that's a treadmill no one can outrun. So if the weekly scoreboard won't be friendly, what's the smarter play? Change the slate, bundle the hype, and pick your moments. Which brings us to what's actually next: specials, pivots, and a name tweak that hints at a bigger shift. Now, the short answer: seasonal moments and tighter packaging. A holiday-themed special is the most obvious play. Low risk, high coziness, plenty of sponsor-friendly frames. If they time it with a product drop or limited run collab, that's a clean story. Watch the episode, then make it at home. It's commerce without screaming commerce. Expect smaller, neater arcs. 4-episode bursts instead of sprawling seasons. One set, one host, one guest who actually cooks or crafts with her. No wandering B-plot. Viewers want the feeling of hanging out, not a tour of the pantry. If the episode lands, it lands in the first 3 minutes. So, front load the moment. A quick recipe win, a funny line, a tiny, oh, I didn't expect that beat. Guests will make or break it. Friends who aren't just famous, people who play well on camera and don't need hand-holding. Think makers, chefs, founders, the occasional musician who can chat and chop without turning it into a PR stump. If they chase only headline names, the show stiffens. If they pick natural talkers, the format relaxes and viewers stay. Brand-wise, the kitchen label keeps shifting. Naming, trademarks, product mix. That's normal. The smart move is to stop chasing a perfect title and build a perfect promise. Simple, pretty, doable. If viewers can copy it in an afternoon, the brand works. If it feels like a museum display, it gathers dust. Crossovers are sitting there, begging to happen. One episode was shot in a charity kitchen tied to Harry's causes, another with a school garden or community bakery. That thread gives the series heart and gives Harry a lane on screen without turning the show into a PSA. It also quiets the separate projects, separate houses discourse in one step. Distribution matters. Drop day is half the battle. The other half is how it travels on short video. Every episode should ship with its own 30-second snack: a plated money shot, a quip, a one-tip clip. If the short doesn't make you want to try something tonight, the long never will. And the name game? Keep it simple. One umbrella, not 3. If there's a relabel in the wings, lock it, announce it once, and move on. People remember recipes and rituals, not legal filings. The more the brand feels like a person talking to you in the kitchen, the less anyone cares what's printed on the jar. Now, the politics whisper, rumor, denial, and why it won't die. This headline refuses to pack up. For years, posts have floated the same idea. She's eyeing office. Then, when asked on record, she waves it off with a smile and a neat non-answer. Not a yes, not a hard no. Just enough wiggle room for 1,000 think pieces. That's the loop. Online chatter spikes. A friendly interview cools it down, and the cycle resets when the next cameo or speech hits. Why it lingers is simple. The brand language, service, community, women-led ventures, neat sound bites, reads like a pre-campaign kit. Add a polished kitchen set and highly produced interviews, and it starts to look deliberate. Supporters see a builder. Critics see a blueprint. Both sides come armed. Here's the practical bit. Politics punishes vagueness. If you're in, you build a ground team and collect receipts. If you're out, you say it and move on. Straddling the middle keeps the buzz alive, sure, but it also turns every public moment into, is this a soft launch? Which is great for clicks, rough for credibility. Could it happen someday? Maybe. The Rolodex is real. The platform is loud, but the math changes the second you trade velvet lighting for town halls. Kitchen table warmth has to survive fluorescent gyms and open mics. Until then, call it what it is, a durable rumor with just enough oxygen to keep burning. So here we are, perfect hedges, imperfect headlines. The deals didn't vanish. They shrank and changed shape. The show sells warmth. The internet demands proof. Harry's schedule still points at purpose, while the home brand tries to turn cozy into currency. That's the split screen. One half is plates and flowers. The other is balance sheets and expectations. The question isn't, are they winning? It's simpler. How much of a public life can you actually steer once the camera never blinks? Cure it hard and people call it staged. Loosen up and they grab the messy bits and run. Either way, the story keeps moving. Sometimes with them, sometimes without them. Your turn. If you lived under this level of attention, would you open the door a little wider or bolt it shut and let the numbers say whatever they want? Drop your take. And if you want the next chapter when it drops, you know what to do.